Student-led conferences. You will have a letter that you need to write over it. The reason being is that, one, it's normal for us to use a student-led conference letter to introduce what this is going to look like. It is for next semester. I didn't put the date on there. I don't intend for you to remember the date. I don't intend to actually know the date yet because it's not on my radar, other than the fact.
Are you doing it?
Am I recording this right now? Yes. No one can see you, though. It's only my screen.
Oh, are you going to post it on YouTube?
So, student-led conference letter. You do have to write a letter for these. The biggest reason why I'm using this is so that you have a reflection over first semester. That's the most important thing for me. I want to see how virtual learning went for you. I want to see how being quarantined went for you. I want you to reflect and see why maybe your grade had a negative impact. If you are a person that just has trouble turning work in on time, be honest with yourself and understand it was not because of the current state of the pandemic. Some of you just don't turn work in. But I want you to be honest with this. The first thing that you should start off with, though, is the proper greeting in a letter. When you look at a letter, how should I start my greeting off? Dear somebody.
No, but my mom.
You should definitely go with dear and someone. Dear who?
Dear Madre.
Maybe it's your mom. Maybe you call them by a nickname. Maybe it's your mom and your dad. Maybe it's your grandparents. It's whoever your guardian or whoever you think might be coming to this student-led conference. You want to start, ladies, you want to start it off properly because, one, that's one of the things I'm looking for, that it has the correct letter format. Yes, ma'am.
Can we do the double spacing?
That's the next thing I was going to talk about, is that you want to adjust the spacing. I would recommend 1.5 or 2. I like typing with 1.5. You can double if you want to, but I would adjust spacing so that it doesn't look quite as cramped. Okay. Now, once you've done that, it is as simple as hitting enter, starting your new paragraph. You may want to leave a couple of line spacing, and then hitting tab. Some of you are still using 5, 6. You're just hitting the space bar. Hitting tab is the proper way to indent a paragraph. I know some of you are looking at me like, you don't really have to review that, do you? Yes, I do. Especially in this hour, there's 3 or 4 of you that still hit the space bar. Hit tab. Okay? Hit tab in order to indent for a new paragraph. Now, it tells you that you should start off with thanking your parents for coming to the conference. If you just want to thank them in general for thank you for making such a considerate, amazing young man. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's however you identify. It's the year 2020, so I'm not allowed to tell you how you identify. You have to define that for yourself. If you even want to wear, male clothing, depending on how you identify yourself, fantastic. If you want to wear a dress, however you identify yourself. But thank you for making such a considered amazing young man. So start off by thanking them. And also, thank you for taking the time to reflect on my education with me. Now, you don't have to use my words exactly. This is how I actually do talk. But you want to thank them first, right? Now, the next thing it tells you to talk about is, how is your school year going? This is a reflection, not of you in the future. It's about how semester 1 went. I want you to be honest with yourself, and it's fine to be honest with your parents because they're going to know this is your first semester reflection. Okay? I like the fact that student-led conferences, this actually lines up pretty well, that we can reflect on the first semester and look at how we're doing. Okay? It asks you how is your school year going? What is your favorite class or classes and why? I know you're all going to write ELA. I understand why.
No, actually, I'm gonna write advisory. I'm actually gonna write.
I understand.
Actually,
Um,
I'm actually gonna write
and-
art.
And whoever's not in our advisory doesn't understand.
If I could actually-
Lunch is not a subject. I will also tell you, look at maybe something other than just advisory, but an actual class.
Can I say advisory too?
That's fine. You can have multiple if you want, but reflect on what your favorite class is, or let's say your least hated class if you can't decide on a favorite. Okay. Your least hated class.
That would probably be algebra because I hate math.
No. If you say you don't have a favorite, a lot of people have said, I don't have a favorite, then pick your least hated, right? So the closest one to the top that you can. Maybe it comes in 10th no matter what, but
They're all equal.
they are not all equal. Knock it off, Joe. Quit being ornery. Okay. What is that? Focus. What is something that you're proud of having done this year? Maybe it's just surviving for some of you. Maybe it's making it through virtual learning and understanding that you can do it. Maybe it's a project you did in art. Maybe it's something you did in shop class. Hold on just a minute. Write about something you are proud of. And then it says, what is something that you need to work on to be a better student? Or what is a goal that you have for this year? So for the next semester. That's the only time you're looking forward is for a goal at the end. It's kind of like the conclusion to your letter. Okay, this is it should be long enough to answer all those questions thoroughly.
I kind of have all the classes besides one of your classes as my favorite.
That's funny. Yeah, me too.
What are it's deaf science and algebra.
You know what I need to put down for what I need to improve on?
What's that?
That's what mine
Oh,
is.
I absolutely
That's
agree.
what mine is. Mine is literally I need to stop talking.
So,
In front of my mouth.
That's it.
questions, since you have the opportunity to talk now, questions about student-led conference letters. Hey, shh. Hey, questions about student-led conferences? No? Okay. So here's what you have. You have your student-led conference letter to finish. You have your writing an argument to finish. And then, most importantly, you have to understand, okay? If you're coming here on Monday and Tuesday, you're probably just in that boat at this point. But book a quarter and getting your horror narrative finished. Those are two key things that you have to get finished. The final draft, number 35, has to be completed. You want to take your polished, finished copy of your horror narrative that we've been working on all semester. Make sure you get it copied over after you've made all the corrections and paste it into number 35 narrative. That is the last thing we did with our narrative. Okay, I know that was a little disconnected this year, but it's because we went into red and we had to finish it up. Okay, so make sure that you guys get all of that completed. I will give you time tomorrow to work on all that because I know some of you have not finished writing an argument. Some of you need time to write your letter. You will have time just to work tomorrow. If you have all of that finished, make sure you bring in book a quarter to work on that as well. Okay. No questions, no concerns?